I like it because it's an extraordinarily economical or cost-effective way of making the lawns and other parts of the grounds look fantastic. My name is Sebastian Fenwick and we live at Shilstone. Shilstone is the result of our passion for architecture, antiques, pictures and landscape. Shilstone consists of the main house, about 10-15 acres of gardens, 500 acres of farmland, rolling country, fantastic views. Shilstone started off as a wedding venue doing one wedding a year. We now do 50 odd. We have 2 accommodation barns where people can stay. We've got 2 gardeners looking after the grounds and making them presentable. It's become a hive of activity. We do all the building work ourselves. We have a team of people, of loyal contractors who have worked for us for 20 years now, and they have put their heart and soul into the place and have created something which is pretty magical. And as far as we're concerned, is a great success. The history of the house goes back to 1066 on the site, so it's an ancient site. There was a medieval house which lasted till 1800. Then it was upgraded into a Regency house, which was mostly knocked down in 1830 because they borrowed too much money from the bank, and we bought back in 97. It gave us the canvas to build the house that we really wanted. Whilst it appears to be an old house, which is our greatest challenge when building it, it's got all the advantages of all new panelling, new stone floors, and most of all, a lot of light. It's been described that when people walk into the house, it's like a breath of fresh air. The landscape was very important to us because it had to fit in with the house we were trying to create, and it had these very interesting 17th century terrace gardens, which were key to what we wanted to restore and have. In order to help pay the bills, we run a wedding business here, so everything has got to look smart. We've got to have stripes on the main lawns, the valley's got to look good. In order to charge the best price for a wedding, everything has got to be right. And our gardeners here work really hard at doing the lawns, producing a fantastic look, and the Ventrac is a significant part of the success of how our grounds look. We tried grazing, it looked great, but it just didn't give a good enough finish. We then looked and had demonstrations of endless different sorts of bank mowers, ride-on, hand mowers, every sort of thing that you can imagine. We bought a few of them. None of them were brilliant. They were all labour-intensive and they'd only one bit. One day my young son came up, who was mad on machinery and YouTube, and showed me a YouTube video of something which was called a Ventrac. And I was amazed what a solid looking machine it was. With the 8 wheels, it just looked as if it was incredibly stable. The driver that he had, he immediately showed that a valley which had been roughly grazed with sheep could be turned into an area with manicured grass. We then got a bit more ambitious and took him to some old woods. And I showed him a path covered with brambles, and I said, have a shot at that. And I think even he was amazed that the driver went through and cut the whole lot down and created a path which looked unbelievable, as if we'd been mowing it for years. And I'm afraid to say, very irresponsibly, I bought one on the spot. Incredibly happily ever since, and I'm delighted to say we've managed to sell all the other mistakes we've made, which has gone in a big way to help fund this one, and we're a complete convert, and I never stop telling people about how good they are. We've got about 500 acres here. It's all pretty steep country, which makes it look so attractive. We've got pretty extensive gardens now, which we've created, and in a way, thanks to the Ventrac, we can make the gardens that much bigger because they're easier to maintain. But the most impressive thing is the actual how it's built, the build quality. We've got Fergie tractors going back to the 1950s, we've got a Land Rover of the 1950s, and they're all built to last. And out of all the mowers we've had here, the Ventrac will outlive them all. And I am quite amazed that the Americans build such good equipment. There to tempt us in the future, they've got an extraordinary range of different attachments which will do anything from hedge cutting to different sorts of banks to road sweeping, all of which are very easy to change. We have one man changing the deck, which takes us about 2 or 3 minutes, and all these different attachments are there to put on. We haven't bought them yet, but they're on the shopping list, and I'm hoping to use as many of them as possible in the future. And the final thing to say is the men working with it love driving it. And without the staff being happy, it's hopeless. It's a dead duck. As a wedding venue, we are selling the dream day of people's lives. And everything has to be perfect. We hope that they're not going to get married a second time, so there's no question of saying, well, it'll be better later. It's got to be right, it's got to look incredible, and we can't accept any disappointments. Otherwise, if we do, that's the end of our business. The gardens and the other activities keep it alive, and the number of people we have here every day is fantastic. The most important thing is my legacy is to leave it to my son, that he will have a way of remaining to live here, but the ability for the place to provide an income so it all runs itself, so that it does not become a burden. The old walled gardens, the old terracing, the valley, the medieval fish ponds, the recreation of all this is the key to success of the whole place. I think it's got an old-fashioned English look because the barns and the old farm buildings are bang next door to the house. There was a much earlier archway, which has probably been about 1500, the gateway to the medieval house, which we've got hopes to put back.
So is there ever going to be a point where you think it's done?
Oh, never. Done, what would I do? No point sitting around twiddling your thumbs.